All right, I want to congratulate the Boston Celtics for shocking everybody in that fourth quarter. They shocked the fans of Golden State, they shocked the Golden State players, and they shocked all of us because that was a spectacular fourth quarter by them. They shocked the Warriors, stunned them in their building, and won game one. That was a fantastic fourth quarter performance by this team. This young unit, first time in the NBA Finals, they have a fourth quarter like that to stun the Golden State Warriors, the veteran dynasty Golden State Warriors. You play like that in their building, game one on the road. Obviously, the Warriors have home court advantage. Boston needs to steal a game here, and right off the bat, they start off the NBA Finals the right way by stealing game one on the road against this Warriors team. So now, the pressure is dramatically decreasing for the Celtics. You've stolen home court. You've proven you can win on the road right off the bat. And that sets the tone for this NBA Finals series. Way to go to the Boston Celtics. As for the Golden State Warriors, what in God's name happened? Legitimately, what in God's name happened? How the hell did you blow this? You took this game over in the third quarter, headed into the fourth quarter with a double-digit lead. I believe it was, 12 or 14 points the Warriors were up by, heading into the fourth quarter. And in the fourth quarter, that was a massive collapse. A collapse of epic proportions. What the hell was that fourth quarter by the Golden State Warriors? So the first half, it was really just Curry carrying that Warriors team. He was carrying in the first half. He had 21 points, doing whatever it takes to keep this team alive. Meanwhile, for Boston, it was a mixture of Jaylen Brown here, a mixture of Al Horford, a mixture of Derek White, Marcus Smart's making plays. They weren't shooting the best, but it was a team effort. Jason Tatum had a terrible game today. His teammates carried him to this victory. Jason Tatum was awful. He was the worst player on the court for the Boston Celtics tonight. He was terrible. But yeah, I mean, it was a mixture of multiple guys showing up when you needed them in the first half. And because they were showing up, they were able to match whatever Curry was doing in the first half. Speaking of this, in the first half, I did not like the defense the Boston Celtics were playing against Curry because they were giving him so much space and they were letting him operate around the perimeter. They were letting him go to work in the three-point line. They gave this man two wide open three-point shots at the top of the key. And I'm looking around thinking, what the hell is the Boston Celtics defense doing? There was a play where you saw Tatum, Smart, and Horford, all three of these guys looking at Curry. Not one of them stepped up. He's at the three-point line. Not one of them stepped up. Curry drains a wide open three, and I'm looking around thinking, are these guys really going to play like this against Curry? You're going to give him that much space? Are you trying to get blown out tonight? My God, it was terrible, man. But they were able to recover. And that's been the story of the Boston Celtics this postseason. Facing adversity, they respond. And that's what they did all day tonight. They responded against the Bucks, they responded against the Heat, and they responded here in game one against the Golden State Warriors. So they were down by 10 at some point in the second quarter. They responded, went on the run, and they end up taking a 2-point lead into halftime. Can you imagine this? Curry's got 21 in the first half, but his team's down by 2. And that's because Curry was carrying. Klay wasn't doing much and no one else was really stepping up at the time. Then you get into the third quarter. All of a sudden, Curry's still doing what he's doing, but now Wiggins is coming with him. Now Klay's starting to hit more shots. Now you're getting something here. That third quarter, the Warriors took over and won that quarter 38-24. They won that quarter 38-24, and everybody was sitting back and saying, well, this is classic Warriors nature. They always do this. The third quarter is the Warriors quarter. They take over and they dominate, and they end up slowly killing you in the fourth quarter. So they dominate the third quarter. Celtics look completely lost. They look rattled. That was the first time they looked rattled in that game, because despite the fact that they started off slow, they were actually keeping up with the Golden State Warriors. But that third quarter, they looked rattled. And heading into the fourth, I wasn't 100% sure that the Boston Celtics can come back. I did say this on the live stream. The game's not over. The Celtics have a chance to come back. But what they need to do is they need to tighten up on defense. They have to continue to put the pressure on Steph Curry, get the ball out of his hands, get into Draymond's hands and let him take the open shot. Get into Wiggins' hands, especially at the three-point line. Get into his hands. Get the ball out of Curry's hands. Hell, get it to Klay because Klay's not hitting anything. Get the ball out of Steph Curry's hands. Let the other guys hit from the perimeter. And offensively, you had to be able to generate some sort of offense. Tatum wasn't playing well, so somebody else had to come along. Al Horford needed to step up. Derek White needed to continue to play the way he was playing. Jaylen Brown definitely needed to step up. Those guys needed to show up down the stretch and close this out. And not only close it out, but step up down the stretch, close the lead, and eventually take over. If they can do that, they can win. I said that during the commercial break heading into the fourth quarter, and I cannot believe it. That's exactly what the Boston Celtics did. Credit to Ime Udoka, credit to that team. They were able to turn it around. Horford got it. It all started with Brown. Brown started off the party in the fourth quarter. He started hitting some tough shots. Next thing you know, Derek White's hitting some tough shots. And all of a sudden, you got Horford going off. And all of a sudden, you got Marcus Smart. He comes back into the back on the court, and he starts hitting a couple threes. It was a straight-up party everywhere. The Boston Celtics, at some point in the fourth quarter, they had a 17-0 run. A 17-0 run. My God. They took over and stunned these dudes in the fourth quarter. After the Warriors win the third quarter 38-24, the Boston Celtics responded by going on a 40-16 run in the fourth quarter. Jesus. If I was to tell you that the Golden State Warriors are heading into the fourth quarter at home in the NBA Finals against a young, inexperienced Boston Celtics team, and they have a 12-point lead, if I was to tell you that, you would expect them to close that game out. But no. Curry, all of a sudden, he was making plays, but it just wasn't enough because he was trying to get these tough layups. It's just like they're responding with tough contested threes. And I've always said this about the Boston Celtics. I said this several times when they were facing off against my Heat. This team, if there's one thing they know how to do well offensively, is they know how to make tough shots. Derek White had a tough contested shot over Steph Curry and he hit it. You had Horford hitting some tough shots. Marcus Smart was just pulling up from three when he came up. Jaylen Brown was hitting contested shots. This team knows how to make tough contested shots. They've been doing it all season. They've been doing it all postseason. And here they are in game one of the NBA Finals doing it once again. Whew. This team dominated. Taking a look at some of the stats here for the most part. For the Celtics, like I said, Jason Tatum was terrible. Arguably the worst player on the field today. Or on the court today. Tatum, 12 points, 3 of 17 shooting. We don't have to go past that. The only thing Tatum did well, which I will commend him for, because he didn't continue to shoot the way you would think he was doing. But the one thing I'll give him credit for is he was assisting the ball. When he couldn't get his shot, he was setting up his teammates. 13 assists for him. He also had 5 rebounds, but 13 assists for Tatum. He was terrible. He couldn't find his shot, so he decided to assist the ball and get his teammates involved, and he got 13 assists. So he had a double-double, 12-point, 13 assist game. Good for him. You know, at least he was contributing something. He could have just kept on shooting instead of getting his teammates involved. But he said, you know what? I'm not hitting right now. I'm missing open looks. Let me continue to facilitate the basketball, get my other guys involved. And that's why he had 13 assists. So great job on Tatum for getting those 13 assists. But moving forward, you need Tatum to play better. He can't shoot 3 of 17 if they're going to win this championship. He's got to be better. Then you have Jaylen Brown here with 24 points. Jaylen Brown in the fourth quarter, he started to take over. He didn't shoot well either. 10 of 23 from the field, 2 of 8 from the three-point line. He had 7 rebounds, 5 assists. He got 2 steals, but you know, you didn't get much from him for the first 3 quarters. That fourth quarter, though, he started to take over. So credit to him. Marcus Smart had a really good game for the most part. 18 points, 7-11 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3. He had 4 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. He was making some plays here and there, so credit to him. Shout out to this man, Derek White. I spoke about this. It was some point, either Game 3 or Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals, where Derek White put it all together and started going off. He was cooking my Miami Heat down the stretch. He almost won them Game 6, and he showed up in Game 7 too. And here he is in Game 1 of the NBA Finals showing up. 21 points, 6 of 11 shooting, 5 of 8 from the three-point line. He was great. Also had 3 assists, so credit to him. So, you know, the efforts of Brown, the efforts of White, the efforts of Marcus Smart, and most importantly, the guy that took over at some point and was emerging, he closed the game out. Al Horford. This was a vintage Al Horford game. 26 points from Al Horford. 26 on 9 of 12 shooting from the field and 6 of 8 from the three-point line. That's actually the most three-point shots made in what would it be called? The most three-pointers made in the first finals game played by any player in NBA history. So your first time in your finals, obviously this is the first time Al Horford has been in the finals. So for any player's first time appearing in the finals, Al Horford hit the most threes. So congrats to him. He deserved it, man. He hit the 3 to tie the game. He hit the 3 to give them the 3-point lead. No, he hit the 3 to tie the game, give them the 3-point lead, and give them a 6-point game. So Al Horford really just started taking over, man. It was crazy. Credit to him. 26 points for him. 6 rebounds, 3 assists. This team down the stretch really showed up. Shout out to Horford. Shout out to Smart. Shout out to Brown. Shout out to Derek White. They did fantastic in terms of closing this game. And I'll give credit to Tatum once again for what he did in terms of facilitating the basketball. They dominated the fourth quarter and took over. Congrats to them. As for the Warriors, other than Curry, and I'll give credit to Wiggins. Curry and Wiggins, they did well for you. Also, Otto Porter. Shout out to him. 12 points, 4 of 5 shooting, 4 or 5 from the three-point line. He showed up and gave you some things. He also had 2 steals, so great for him. But, yeah, I'll give credit to Wiggins as well. Wiggins, 20 points. He had 3 blocks, 5 rebounds. He shot 8 of 15 from the field, 2 of 7 from the three-point line. He's not a three-point shooter, so it is what it is. So I'll give credit to him. However, your other 2 guys of your main trio, I don't know what to tell you, man. First of all, someone needs to explain this to me. Why did Draymond Green take this many shots? Draymond Green, in 38 minutes, gave you 4 points on 2 of 12 from the field and 0 of 4 from the three-point line. He also missed all 3 of his free throws. He was garbage. He was garbage shooting the basketball. Good news is, he's not there to shoot the basketball. So it is what it is. He gave you 11 rebounds and 5 assists as well as 2 steals, so he made some great defensive plays. But, man, he just kept taking shots, and he played right into the Celtics' hands. They wanted him to keep shooting the basketball, and he continued to do it. Klay Thompson, not terrible, but you're going to need more from him in a game like this. Klay Thompson, 15 points, 6 of 14 from the field, 3 of 7 from the three-point line, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. You're going to need more from Klay Thompson. You're going to need more. Steph, beautiful game. 34 points on 12 of 25 shooting, 7 of 14 from the three-point line. He gave you 5 rebounds and 5 assists. Also had 3 steals. So the guy was making plays left and right. He was the best player on the court for the Warriors. Honestly, he was the best player on the court the entire game, but it don't matter. You can be the best player on the court. If your team doesn't show up, it's not going to matter. So overall, you just got to look at the Warriors, and they got to be better than what they displayed. It can't just be a situation where it's only Curry coming. And yeah, Wiggins helped out, but Klay's got to be better, and Draymond's got to be much better. If you're not hitting, bro, I need you to you need to be assisting the ball. I need to see 10 assists. I need a Draymond Green game where he's giving me 8 points, but yeah, I'll say 10 points. 10 points on like 6 shots, because all of them are just layups. 10 points on 6 shots. He gives me 8 to 10 rebounds and 6 to 9 assists. I need something like that from Draymond. I should not be getting a 2 of 12 shooting from him. He should not be shooting the ball that much. That's not good. So the Warriors are definitely going to need to respond in game 2, because the adjustments that Ime Udoka made and calling those timeouts was fantastic. Legitimately, he preserved those timeouts and it worked wonders for them. Meanwhile, Kerr had to continue to call timeouts, because every time Golden State would go on a run, Boston would close it out, and all of a sudden that 10-point lead or that 12-point lead they had is gone. So we have to keep calling timeouts. Ime just trusted his guys, and they responded well. So congrats to them. Boston, you have the advantage now. You've stolen home court. Game 2 is going to be here on Sunday. Let's see what you can do. As for Golden State, you have to respond. You cannot afford to lose both games at home. If you lose both games at home, you will be in trouble. So expect Klay to respond in game 2. Expect Draymond to have a better game. Oh yeah, another person I didn't talk about. Jordan Poole was terrible in this game. I wouldn't say terrible. He was bad. 9 points, 2 of 7 from the field. He hit 4 of his free throws. Oh, he hit all of his free throws, so that's cool. But he didn't shoot the ball well. He wasn't terrible, but he just wasn't shooting the ball well. So, yeah, also, he didn't play a lick of defense, bro. He was bad defensively, so that definitely hurt them as well. But it is what it is. Anyway, we will see what happens in game 2. That's it here for game 1. That is all I've got to say. Once again, congratulations to the Boston Celtics, and we'll see what happens in game 2. That's all I got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace!